Hello, this is Ainsley Salzman from your Pearson, Florida team, and today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of my writing lab for composition. So let's get started. Today we're going to go over 3 of the major features of my writing lab for comp, which include the diagnostic test that generates a personalized learning path for students. We'll then move into writing practice, and then we'll conclude today's overview by talking about how to create a writing assignment. So I've clicked on Writing Skills. This is the meat and potatoes of my writing lab for comp. This is where students will start out by taking a diagnostic test, or what we call a path builder, and then they will be given a personalized learning path based on how they do on that diagnostic. So students will be able to remediate in areas that they're weak and be able to test out of specific modules as well. Now keep in mind that the lab is fully customizable. You can use it right outside of the box, or you can set it up so that students don't test out of modules if you'd like. It's totally up to you as the instructor. Now, as you'll see, we have 11 modules here. It starts out with our very basic modules, understanding basic grammar, and then it moves into our more higher order skills like writing arguments, reading critically, and rhetorically. Now keep in mind, with all the changes going on in Florida and across the country with redesign and developmental education, this is a great complement to that co-requisite model. So students will be able to remediate in those areas that they're weak, and then by the end hopefully achieve topic mastery. So I'm going to click here on Understanding Basic Grammar. So we'll start with this module, and you'll notice at the top it says Skills Check. That's what we call our secondary or our second tier diagnostic test. This is actually going to further narrow down their learning path and give them activities to complete within this module. So students will work on areas that need study. They'll notice that there is a pencil sign, and if they've achieved mastery on that skills check in a particular area, they'll have a star. So all of the activities that the student will complete always include an overview, animation, recall exercises, and apply questions. So I'm going to click on Overview to show you what that looks like. The nice thing about the overview is it's very comprehensive, and students can actually play the audio as well. So we'll let this load, and then you'll notice up here they can play the audio, and then you can scroll down and see all of the examples. So it really breaks it down for students. So then we're going to move back over here. We've got our animation activities. So animation and our overview is where the students will apply that conceptual knowledge. And within the animation, there will be audio.
Word has a specific function. These functions fall into 8 categories. 1. Verbs.
We know students learn in different ways, so we wanted to make that animation available to them. And then we have our recall activities. So students will work through a set of questions. They'll be able to have 2 attempts for each question. They can check their answer. The computer will give them robust feedback and give them a second try. And then there's actually some learning aids over here on the right-hand side that they can use as they're answering the questions, animation, the glossary, and they can email their instructor if you'd like. So they would check their answer. If it's not correct, then there will be an explanation, and then they can try again. So very robust feedback to really hopefully help them achieve that topic mastery. So going back over here, before we move on to writing practice, the whole idea is we're wanting to introduce students to a concept, have them remediate on those areas, and then assess them on that material. So the post-test that they'll take at the very end is pretty much to see, let's assess them on what they've retained. So now I'm going to move on into writing practice. Writing practice is a new feature of our lab. It's an auto-graded writing assignment that students can do. We have 13 prompts here for the student, and we've actually trained the system using thousands of essays. So we'll give the student a grade after they complete their essay. So I'm going to click on Community Service just to show you how this works. I plugged in an essay right here. So you have your prompt at the top. You plug in your answer or your essay, and then you submit it for feedback. So once you submit it for feedback, the student will be given an overall score. They'll be graded on ideas, organization, conventions, sentence fluency, word choice, and voice. They'll have other areas that they can look into, like spelling tips and grammar tips. And the nice thing about the auto-graded writing is it goes straight to the grade book, and it's really great for low-stakes writing assignments to give students that extra practice. So this is writing practice. Now we're going to conclude today by going into our activities manager, and I'm going to show you how to create a writing assignment. And you might have noticed over here on this navigation bar, Smart Thinking, I did want to point out that we have partnered with Smart Thinking, and students can submit up to 3 essays and have a certified tutor give them feedback. So any papers that you assign, any writing assignments, you can have your students submit up to 3 to our tutors, and they'll get that personalized feedback. So now we're going to create a writing assignment. I'm going to click on Create Assignment. I'm then going to label my assignment. So there we go. We'll label it Argument Paper. And then you can set up your preferences right here in the lab for your writing assignments. You can choose your number of drafts, your start date, and your end date. We've actually partnered with Turnitin, so you can have your students submit 4 originality checks within the lab before they turn their paper into you. And you can set up peer review if you'd like. You can include your writing instructions down here at the bottom. I'm going to hit Continue. These are some other options. You can include sample documents. You can add a checklist for your students, so before they turn in their paper, make sure that they proofread their work. Anything you want in that checklist you can add. Then we're going to hit Continue. You'll notice over here this is our rubric area, so you can actually use one of our rubrics or you can create your own rubric. And just to let you know, our rubrics are partnered with the WPA outcomes. So here you can see a 1, 2, 3, and 4, how they're weighted. Or you can upload your own rubric or create your own over here. You can add your columns, and then you would just hit Create. And then we're going to hit Finish. So once you finish, you will then assign this assignment to the calendar so the student knows that they will need to complete it. You can check any other settings that you'd like over here, what the mastery score is, and then you would hit Save and Assign, so that way you can assign it right to the calendar for the student to complete. So really easy to create writing assignments, and I hope that you enjoyed the overview today. That is all for now, but we look forward to meeting with you in person and addressing any questions that you have. Thanks so much for joining.